Researching representation of diversity in mathematics pedagogical texts. Methodological considerations. This is a video recorded for the Mathematics Education and Society Conference. For more details, please refer to my full conference paper. My aim is to discuss some methodological considerations needed to investigate the development of representation of diversity in pedagogical texts over time. As methodological questions may be strongly dependent on context, I will look at mathematics tasks in exams, and in particular exams in Norway. Exams are important texts, and as they are annual events with a long history, they are promising sources for looking at diversity over time. Of course, as a cisgendered male, white, urban professor of mathematics education, I am in a position of power. While my identity as a gay atheist has given some personal experiences of oppression, I believe that analysis of data should preferably be performed by a group of people with diverse perspectives. My methodological discussions should also be enriched by other perspectives. In my article, I argue that representation is important, both by giving students the chance to see themselves and expand their foreground, and by letting students know minorities that may not be present in the particular classroom or school. In this article, I include gender, ethnicity, culture, religion, geography, functionality, sexuality, and class. In the article, I look at these one at a time, but also stress that it is important to investigate them as a whole in the spirit of intersectionality. While the representation of different groups are important, we easily fall into the trap of tokenism, where minorities are included in name only, without any further consequences for the text. I also point out the danger of stereotypes, for instance, consistently placing people from a culture in contexts particular to that culture. I give a brief overview of previous research, and in this video I can just give some glimpses. I see that boys are more active and more often have jobs in mathematics tasks, while girls are more often caregivers in the home. Majority ethnicities are found to be overrepresented and portrayed as more mathematical and in more careers than minorities. In Norwegian tasks, Norwegian food and ways of living are the norm. Religion is rarely mentioned in tasks. An urban bias is sometimes spotted. Disabilities are rarely present in textbooks, and disabled people are often portrayed in a stereotypical way. Queer perspectives are rarely seen. When it comes to class, the research is not so occupied with representation as with the experiences and expectations tasks draw on. Much research on representation seems to include counting to some degree, and to supplement this with qualitative analysis. In this table, I have given examples of what can reasonably be counted to give an overview of how representation has developed through time, and also give material for further qualitative analysis. This does not mean that I support a binary gender model or a division of people into races, for instance, but that an overrepresentation of traditional male names or some phenotypes in tasks is still of interest. I find class particularly difficult, as what may be markers of a particular class must have changed considerably through the years. I also note that some diversity markers are visible, while others are not. There may be a tradition of not being explicit about sexuality or religion in tasks, for instance, which may make it difficult to start including it. Such traditions would be illuminated by such research. While this list seems to treat one dimension at a time, in practice it will be easy to look at how intersections work, whether, for instance, all persons with disabilities are portrayed as white, or whether queer black people are ignored in two ways at the same time. My conclusion, and again I invite you to read my full paper, is although some operationalizations needed are difficult, it seems feasible and fruitful to analyze the whole corpus of mathematics exams, in Norway's case 60 years of exams, based on counting occurrences of inclusion. This could provide an overview of the development of the exams in terms of diversity. Such an overview would not cover all important perspectives. However, it would be a foundation for further, more detailed analysis of selected combinations of diversity dimensions and of time periods. Thank you for your attention. Here are the references in the article.